It's kind of like people that can get diabetes easier than other people. But for me, anything when I was growing up, anything that I couldn't do, like I felt like I couldn't dance. If I drank, it would give me the courage to dance. Like I felt like alcohol gave me the courage to talk to girls. I remember there was a homie Tivin that he wasn't even drinking, but he took me to get fast food or something, and I felt so cool being in the car with him. And I remember the first time I drank a little bit of OE. I think he gave me a little cup of OE. And I remember being able to chop it up with him in the car and feeling so cool and cruising. And I just remember taking a drink of OE and being like, ooh, this works. This makes me feel good. This gives me everything. I felt that under my balls, under my toes. And I just remember that drop, dropping in and just being perfect, dog. And forward, I would have the courage to dance, talk to girls, talk shit to my friends, get into gang fights, start fights, just do things that I didn't know if I could do without it, And of course, there would be many times when I could talk to girls, get in fights, and do all that sober. But when I would drink, it would give me that edge. And if you didn't drink too much, I was willing to do things that I wasn't willing to do sober sometimes, or not as prone to do. It also just my father said that he thinks that I hung around the hood more because it gave me a safe place to drink the way I wanted to, and also do this. But we're not going to talk about that on YouTube. So it helped me grow up as a kid. It helped me get through a lot of the things that I was uncomfortable with, and that later on would make me emotionally kind of childish because I didn't work through any of my problems. I always used the crutch of alcoholism. And that's the thing, is a lot of fools that are alcoholics, they will, you feel me, like whenever they started drinking, it stunted their growth. So a lot of men that drink and they're 40 or 30 or 50, and you're like, how can you be so immature? But the reality is they stopped growing, or their growing has been stunted, because every time they're faced with the harsh reality of life, they drank, and to soften the blow of it. But you can't do that. You got to face life head on, And so this is what's happening with Lefty. He's starting to face life head on. For me, it took me all through LA, partying in Santa Monica College, all through UCLA and SC and CSUN. And man, I remember partying with Hermanos Unidos and all these fraternities, and them thinking like, damn, this was crazy. And they were like crazy, crazy drinkers, but I could always outdo everybody, or I would pass out. But then eventually it starts to get old, right? So what happens is, for me, I started to get older, and then I started to get out of college. I went to grad school, and then I was still partying. And in graduate school, people were partying, but people start to drink wine, you feel me? They start to leave early. They start to be more responsible. They start having kids. And I was still partying, smashing females, drinking, thinking I was this cool revolutionary photographer. And I was just selling myself short every year in year out, because I was focusing on the wrong things. I was kind of doing the right, graduate school and the photography, but I was also partying and dancing and drinking. And it's cool, but now you can't do that 3-4 days a week. And so then I started to burn bridges because I couldn't get to, places on time, or I'd smell like alcohol, or I'd just burn bridges or say dumb things, or people that never see me drunk would see me drunk and they'd be like, dude, this fool is a goofball. And I was. And so this is my story.